Hi, welcome. Have you looked around outside lately? Well, if not, you might not notice that there's so many plants on this earth and that they have been around for thousands of millions of years. So let's dive deeper and take a look at the parts of the plant. Take a look at these pictures. You cannot tell me that not all plants look the same. In fact, there are over 400,000 various species of plants on our planet. Why are there so many species? Well, we know that two species cannot be identical, so there must be some characteristic to distinguish them, like the color or size of a plant. Secondly, plants just like animals need to adapt to their environment. Having to do so creates differences in the plant to allow them to survive. Before we get any further into learning about plants, we'll be filling out the first two columns of the KWL chart for this lesson. In the first column, you'll write down what you already know about the topic, which is plants. In the second column, you'll write down what you want to learn about it. And in the third column, we'll leave it be until after the lesson. Getting back to our presentation, we have learned from the slide before that plants come in various shapes and sizes. Typically though, plants are usually composed of four primary structures that are modified for their needs. These structures are known as the roots, stem, leaves, and flowers. To begin our journey in discovering plants, we'll be heading underground to look at the first essential structure for the plant's survival. They are known as the roots, and they have a pretty big job to play. First off, they absorb water and minerals from the soil that they might need. Think of the roots as a straw and think of the ground as a glass. When you use the straw to drink the water in your glass, you're moving the water from its original place in the glass to your mouth. This is the same way the roots transport water from the ground into the stem. Secondly, the roots anchor the plant down into the soil so that the plant does not blow away in the wind. The roots can also help keep the soil by not allowing water to erode it away. Thirdly, the plant stores nutrients in its roots during times when the environment for the plant is not ideal. Usually, nutrients and food for the plant are stored in the stem. There are two types of roots, fibrous and taproots. Fibrous roots have thin, short roots that grow near the surface of the ground. If you have ever pulled grass out of a field and you looked at the bottom of it, it will look like there's a big clump of hairs hanging. Those are the fibrous roots. On the other hand, taproots look very different. They have one single long root that burrows deep into the ground. On the sides of this root, smaller roots grow off of it. On these roots are little hairs called root hairs. An example of a taproot would be a carrot. Building from the ground up, stems are the next essential part of a plant's survival. Stems are seen as the backbone of the plant. This means that it holds up all the leaves and flowers. Think of it this way. The stem is like a spinal cord of our body. Without it, we would flop over. With it, we can stand tall and do other various functions. Secondly, plants store their food in the stem that was made in their leaves. It is usually in the form of starch. All in all, the stem is like one big transport system that connects all the other parts of the plants together. Leaves help the plant obtain food in the form of energy via stored as sugar. We'll talk about this concept later in another lesson. Leaves also produce oxygen that help humans and other animals breathe. Thirdly, plants produce shade, which can help shelter not only the plants but also animals from the sun. When the leaves are the color green, it's because they have a particular chemical inside them called chlorophyll. This chemical substance is a pigment in the leaves that helps the plant to store energy from the sun's rays. When the plant begins to produce less chlorophyll, the leaves of the plant begin to change color. This is why we get yellow, orange, and red leaves in the fall. Flowers can also be a pop of color. The shape and coloring of a flower plays a considerable part in helping the plant reproduce. The style of the flower, big or small, or how many petals, will attract various pollinators such as a bee or bird to help with the reproduction process. Each pollinator has a specific type of flower they prefer to go to. Now that we have covered the parts of the plant, we're going to look back at our KWL chart. The first two columns should already be filled in. Now you can go ahead and fill in the third column about what you have learned from this part of the lesson. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned that plants have a lot more going on for them than what meets the eye. Tune in tomorrow, where we'll be talking about osmosis and diffusion in plants.
Created using Powtoon.